Hello everyone, welcome to Python Full Stack Development demo by the Project Bank. So before enter into this, before starting this demo, I'll show you various projects which are available in the Project Bank developed by the Python and other programming languages. Let me show you once. You can type projectbank.in. If you observe the Project Bank IN, we have various categories: machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, computer vision projects, Django projects, data science, web applications, mobile applications, robotics, IoT, and many other courses. You can see here machine learning projects, deep learning, NLP, and all other categories of the projects. So the every project which cost only 499 rupees. The actual price is 5,000. They are providing 90% of the discount. You will get only 499 with all video lectures, coding, and everything can be downloaded. If you look into these various kinds of top courses, COVID-19 analysis, which is developed by the Python and the machine learning, plant disease prediction, counting and detecting vehicles, and you can observe various courses. You can also see many video lectures of core Python, and also you can see full stack like HTML5, JSS, CSS, JavaScript, and web designing with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and many projects: patient liver, data analysis, face expression recognizer, Parkinson syndrome, and this is healthcare domain. You can find many projects. Yeah, let us start today's agenda for this Python full stack development. First, I want to explain about what is Python and what are the features of the Python, who uses Python, various flavors of Python, and Python versions, and by using Python, what are the various applications we can able to implement. So that is the agenda. So the prerequisite for learning Python course: any graduate who can studying or completed MCA, BTech, MTech students, or who can be a research student, or it can be a business analyst or financial executive, business analyzer. Anyone can learn this Python course. There is no need of any pre-knowledge on C programming, C++, Java, and .NET. Everything you can learn from scratch. Let me introduce what is Python and how it is simple from other languages. The Python was invented by Judo Rossum in the year of 1989 and is very easy to learn. Python is one of the general purpose, functional, object oriented, highly interpreted, extensible, and extendable programming language. If you can observe, generally structured programming languages like C, Fortran, Pascal, and other, and whereas object-oriented programming languages like Python, Java, Scala, and all. Python is a simple programming language when compared to other languages. It is very simple because of huge libraries and look like an English-like language. There is no need of by-hearting syntaxes and all. It is very easy while running the code and everything. Having very big libraries, modules for developing the application in very easy way. Because of this rich libraries, modules, any kind of person who want to develop the applications in financial sectors or any web applications or any statistical analysis or any data science related projects with various domains, anything is possible implementation of the real-time applications with the help of the Python, since it has huge and rich libraries and modules. We can discuss all the libraries modules in future. And by using Python, people have various doubts like, what kind of applications can be implemented by using Python language. You can develop a websites with help of all using UI, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and also we can use Django to develop web applications. And we can also use standalone desktop applications, and we can also use various artificial intelligence analysis applications with help of machine learning, deep learning algorithms. And Python also used to implement robotics. That means accessing some kind of data through various kinds of sensors and reading the data from the sensors, and it can be manipulated by using Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi which supports more into Python, so that we can develop many robotic applications in Python. And also we can implement IoT applications using Python, like motion detections and home automation kinds of applications, and many various, smart city, smart automatic sanitizers, and smart vehicles, and many kind of applications can be implemented by using Python. And also, like by using computer vision, like facial recognition, facial expressions recognition, and automatic signaling system, and many kind of image processing related applications can be implemented, like we call it as computer vision. All computer vision applications are implemented in Python with help of rich libraries. And also we can go ahead with data analysis. We can predict the future sales or stock market sales, or whether the particular person has disease or not. He may get the disease, any kind of disease, whether they are heart patients may get the heart attack or not. Many predictions can be done. These kind of applications can be implemented by using Python. And also we can develop games, various kinds of game applications we can do using Python. So by using Python we can develop these many applications. I'm repeating. Okay, either you can do desktop applications or web applications, artificial intelligence with help of the machine learning and deep learning algorithms. You can go with the robotics, you want to go with the Internet of Things. Okay, and computer vision, you want to be expert in the image processing and computer vision, and you want to go with any statistical analysis and data analysis. As a data scientist, you can go with this Python, and you can develop the game development. Any kind of area you can choose. The Python is very much useful. With the help of the Python, you can develop all. Now let us start with what are the various internal features of Python. So as we already discussed, Python language is very easy to learn, simple and easy to learn. How can we say it is very easy? Simple and easy to understand. Since it is in English like sentences, let's say x is equal to 34 minus 23, y is equal to hello. By understanding this, it is very easily, people without having the knowledge on the Python or any coding, people can understand what is the meaning of this. The value will be stored in the x, y equal to hello, and they are writing some conditions, and x value is incremented by 1. The value is printing with the help of the whatever the value is there in the x, it is printing. So all the sentences, these are all English like sentences. We call it as high level languages. Since it is a high level language, the people can understand very easily. It is not having many keywords. Very few keywords are available in it. So that is one of the reason we can call it as simple and easy to learn. And next feature is it is open source. The Python is an example of FLOSS, a free library and open source software, which means one can freely distribute the copies of the software and read its source code, and people can modify it. And if you want, you can contribute some kind of algorithms or whatever you want to introduce, you can contribute. And another feature is high level language. One does not need to bother about the low level details like memory allocation while writing the Python. That means, see, everything, whatever you have written here, high level language A equal to 3, B equal to 5, sum equal to A plus B, print sum. Everything is finally converted into zeros and ones. Zeros and ones. You no need to depend on, previously we used to write assembly level languages instructions like add r1 comma r2. These kind of instructions we have written. The values of the registers are stored into another registers, and the result will be stored in another registers, and the result will be stored into the accumulators, and like that many assembly level languages. It is very difficult to understand, but that is traditionally. Nowadays everything is high level language, so you don't need to bother about what is happening inside. And when you delete some statement, when you delete some memory, simply you are writing the statement called free of file name. Simply it is going to be deleted, so the entire memory will be reallocated by the system itself. You don't bother about removing or flushing of the data in the buffer. The next feature is called portability, and it is supported by many platforms like Linux and Windows, Macintosh. Many operating systems is supported. That's why we can call it as a portable. The next feature is extensible. The programs or the piece of code written in C and C++ can be integrated into Python and executed using Python Virtual Machine (PVM). There are other flavors of Python where the programs from other languages can be integrated into Python. Let's say if you have already, the company is already working with so many years either Java, C or C++. If you want to migrate to the Python, you don't worry. Whatever you have written into the C programming, you can easily convert it into the Python with help of CY. That flavors I will show you the next slides. Cython, Zython. Okay, the Java supported Python will be there, C supported Python will be there. Likewise, we have multiple flavors of the Python, so that easily we can integrate to the Python. Since the Python is providing all such kind of features, so that is very easy to migrate from any languages from C, CPP, Java to Python. This is Zython, which is implemented, which is supported Java code and converted into Python. So that's why we call it as Zython. So I'll show you not only Zython, we have some more flavors of Python are available. The .NET also will be supported, Java will be supported, C, CPP, anything. Multiple languages will be supported in Python. The next feature is it supports different programming paradigm. The Python supports procedure-oriented programming as well as object-oriented programming. If you see the C programming and all, procedure-oriented programming, all the procedure we have to follow the set of rules and regulations in the procedure-oriented, whereas object-oriented also, and also the another way we can say. We can call it as a top-down approach and a bottom approach. Both will be supported in the Python. And another very important feature is platform independent. When a Python program is compiled using a Python compiler, it generates bytecode. Python's bytecode represents a fixed set of instructions that runs on all operating systems or any kind of hardware. That means once if you develop an application, whatever the hardware mechanisms of the system, whatever the operating system you are working with, that code will be implemented in any other system. Let's say you have executed your Python program in your system at home, the same code will be supported in your office or some other locations without having the same platform, a same operating system, or no need of depends on the same hardware mechanisms also. Everything will be supported. That's why we call it as it is platform independent. Otherwise, if it is not platform independent, what you could do, whatever the system you are executing the Python, you should also depends on what is operating system, what is the processor, what is the RAM size, and everything should be there in the destination system also. That is very much difficult. So we don't bother about all. Whatever the system you have executed, whatever the system is there in your office or some other location, there will be a compatible And another feature is dynamically typed. In Python, we need not to declare anything. An assignment statement binds a name to an object, and the object can be of any type. Let's say dynamically typed. This is one of the very important feature in Python. Let's say in any other languages, if I want to use the variables x, y, z in the program, you need to declare in the starting itself what kind of x, what kind of data you want to store in x, whether it could be integer or a float or a string or characters, whatever it may be. But whereas here, you no need to mention, you want to use the x as the integer values to store, or as soon as you are storing, whenever you are storing the data into the x, automatically system will identify that okay, you are using x as an integer. Since you are storing hello into the y, okay, y will be declared as a string internally. You no need to mention explicitly, dynamically it will be typed. Okay, so let's say the same x you want to reutilize as another floating value, you can. So you no need to mention, the variables will not be restricted to, that should be restricted to only integer. No, dynamically whatever the data which is stored into the variable, it is going to be updated. So the system, this is one of the very good feature in the Python. And another important feature is interpreted language. Python is an interpreted language. That is, interpreter executes the code line by line at a time. This makes debugging very easy and thus suitable for beginners. Why? Because let's say after completing entire your code, it's let's say assume 100 lines of the code you have executed. Okay, and at the time of compilation, if you feel that you have something errors, so you need to check and verify all the lines of the codes. That is there in case of compiler, but here we are not using the compiler. So you can observe here compiler using C, C++, Go programming languages, Fortran, Pascal, these are all using compiler. But whereas in Python, PHP, Ruby, JavaScript, these are all interpreters, and also we can call it a scripting language. Python is also a scripting language. So as soon as you written something, immediately it will check if there is any mistake or not. Okay, and immediately we can rectify it, and then you go to the next line like that. Practically I can show you what is interpreted means. Whenever you run one particular line, immediately it gives the output. I'll show you in the practical session. And another important feature is the Python supports GUI programming support. With help of the graphical user implementations you can develop. That means we can develop a standalone desktop applications as well as web applications. With help of the tkinter and Django, you can use websites. We can develop websites. And another important feature is the Python has, as we already discussed, a huge set of libraries. Python has a big library which can be used on any operating system like Unix, Windows and Macintosh. The programmers can develop the programs very easily using these modules available in the Python library. If you observe here, we have if you want to work with arrays and other, we have NumPy. So you want to work with data management manipulations and all, we have Pandas. You want to work with graph visualizations, we have Matplotlib, Plotly, Seaborns and all. You want to work with machine learning algorithms, we have scikit-learn. You want to work with advanced like deep learning kind of things, we have TensorFlow and Keras. Likewise, it has enriched number of libraries. Now with help of that, you can develop any kind of application. Any very big statistical applications can be implemented using the Python. As I already told you, it is also called as a scripting language since it is using the interpreted executing. A scripting language is a programming language that does not use a compiler for executing the source code. Rather, it uses an interpreter to translate the source code into machine code while running. Instead of compiling the entire code into the machine level language, what it will do, with help of the interpreter translate the source code into mission code line by line. Yeah, and now we'll move to who is going to be use this Python. Everybody knows about the YouTube. The popular YouTube videos sharing the services is largely written in Python. The Google also know Google makes the extensive use of Python in its web search, and as I already discussed, if you can implement Internet of Things applications, right, like working with various sensors, ultrasonic sensors, IR sensors, motion sensors, no various read sensors, and no multiple sensors, the data, you can access the data and we can process it, we can work on that, which is possible by using Arduino or as well as the Raspberry Pi. So this is the symbol for the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi is a single board computer, promotes Python as its educational language. Finally, I can say with help of the Raspberry Pi, you can develop the computer vision applications and IoT applications. Everything the code in the Python only. And also the NASA is also using Python for scientific programming tasks. Dropbox and Netflix and Yelp have both documented the role of the Python in their software infrastructures. Yeah. So now coming to the various flavors of Python. Yes, we already discussed, and the Python, the people who are implemented in C programming, you can easily convert it to the Python with help of Cython, Cython, and you can develop by using Java supported. We have Zython. Okay, with help of the .NET supported, we have Iron Python. Let's see all individually one by one. As we already discussed, C Python. This is a standard Python compiler implemented in C language. In this, any Python program is internally converted into bytecode using C language functions. The bytecode is run on the interpreter available in Python virtual machine created in C language. So the people who are having good knowledge on C programming, they can easily migrate to Python with help of the C Python. Similarly, we have Zython. The earlierly we call it as J Python. This is the implementation of Python programming language which is designed to run on Java platform. Zython compiler first compiles the Python program into Java bytecode. This Java bytecode is executed by the Java virtual machine to produce the output. As you all know, the Java compiled by with help of the Java virtual machine. And Iron Python. Okay, this is another implementation of Python language for the .NET framework. So far we have observed C and Java. Now you can observe the .NET also. The people who are completed in C# coding, they can easily migrate with help of the Iron Python. So this Iron Python is implemented using C# language. The Python program, when compiled, given an intermediate language which runs on a common language runtime CLR to produce the output. All the .NET applications like C# code is converted, like how we are using the Java virtual machine, Python virtual machine. In .NET, they are using CLR, common language runtime, to convert into the machine level language and the final output. And we have Anaconda Python. Anyhow, we are going to see how we can implement all the large scale data processing and prediction analytics and scientific computing and everything we can implement in the Anaconda Python. And next, coming to the Python versions, if you can observe the Python, when the Python was released, the first version 1.0 is released in the year of 1994 itself. That means Python is not a new language. It is very, very old. Now it is getting more popular because of it has n number of libraries. That's the reason we can develop various applications. So if you can observe 1.0 released in the year of 1994, 1.5 version released in the year of 97. Like this you can observe all Python 1.x, 2.x and 3.x. Now the present version we are working with Python 3, that is Python 3.10.4, which is released in the October 4, 2021. That is the latest as on today. this is already we have discussed about Python applications in detail. I have explained earlier, and now I'll show you various web and internet application, desktop application, gaming industry, network programming, and education sector also you can use the Python. So as part of this course, Python full stack development, what are the topics we are going to cover? So in this we have divided into three parts. Number one, UI development. As part of the UI, I'm going to cover HTML5, CSS3, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. That is UI development as a front-end development. As part of the database, we are using MySQL and MongoDB. After that, the coding point of view, we are using Python language. That means both core Python and advanced Python we will use. To develop the websites, web application, I'm using Django. So all these topics going to be covered as part of the Python full stack development. So why are you waiting for this? Join this course and call to this below number. And if you have any queries, please feel free to call. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much.